Hey everyone out there, my name is Devin Adams. I'm a Fortinet instructor here in Tempe, Arizona for Dynamic Worldwide, and I record these videos for the participants who take my class. Anyways, this is my impromptu lab, me and FortiDuck here, quack. We were sitting here and thinking up things to do, and someone threw it out there. Hey, what about Radius? Can you do a Radius demo real quick? And I'm like, you know what? That's not a big deal. Here it is. In this video, we have a couple of goals. I might split it up into two, but we are going to configure a simple Radius server using FreeRadius on a pfSense box, and then to make this all work with the FortiGate, we do have to make sure that the vendor-specific attributes are there in the FreeRadius server. So I'll kind of explain what those are, okay? And after that, we're going to create a user and a user group on the Radius server. And then we're going to configure the FortiGate as a Radius client. And then we'll go ahead and test it all out by authenticating someone through the firewall using Radius. So anyways, this is going to be a quick one, I hope. Are my videos ever quick? Anyways, so I'm just going to dive right into it. So if you guys have been following the other videos to this impromptu lab, I'm literally throwing everything at this until my laptop breaks. All right. But this box right here, the DevOps box, that is a pfSense box. All right. And is acting as a firewall for our DevOps teams here at headquarters. So I'm going to use this outgoing interface right here that's supposedly publicly facing to accept Radius requests. So that's the goal. So let's go ahead and do it. And I know that Radius can be a lot more feature rich than this. It really is a protocol, a language of love for a AAA server, and that stands for authentication, authorization, and accounting. And there's a lot of neat things that you can do with it. This is going to be a really basic example though, guys. Okay. But it's still a good start. So we're going to go over here to our package manager. And then we're going to look up Radius. And this is on pfSense, okay? And there it is, Radius. All right, so we're going to go ahead and install it. We'll hit confirm. And then it should pull down the appropriate files that it needs to go ahead and get that to work. All right, so I'm not going to do a SQL database here just for simplicity reasons, but once this is done, once this is up and running, we should be able to set it up. So all right, there we are. Now it's extracting it. There we go. Services started, done, good. All right, cool. So now it is there. All right, so now we can go over to our services and yep, there it is, FreeRadius. Okay, good times. So before we do anything with the users, all right, we need to make sure that the interfaces that are going to be listening, right, are set up. All right, so let's go ahead and just hit new. And here I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? I want you to listen on port 10.208.1 for Radius requests. All right, and we'll just leave it at authentication. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with accounting, but anyways, so that allows the pfSense box to at least talk to the other Radius clients. Okay, so we're gonna hit save. Good times. All right, make sure that's stuck. All right, cool. So after that, the next thing we have to do is we have to verify that the VSA library is in there. So in order to get Radius to accept user groups from the FortiGate itself, because usually that's what we do, right? We create a user group, and then we say anyone that comes in from this remote group, associate them with this firewall object. All right, so at that point, so essentially, before we can actually make our users and our user groups and get them to talk right, we have to make sure that that VSA dictionary is in our FreeRadius. Now, every Radius server is going to have their different ways of doing this, but essentially what we're looking for, and I'll put this in our in the video description, all right? This is the attributes that are needed to be known by the Radius server so we can point to them with our users and pass along certain information, okay? Specifically, this guy right here, okay? And you can actually do some cool stuff with the admin accounts too using this guy right there. And this is actually for several Fortinet products, all right? So, but these are the vendor-specific attributes that that need to be there. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it. Are you guys ready? So I am going to go ahead and just use my Windows machine here because I'm just lazy like that. Okay, and I'm going to use something like I don't know, FileZilla. There we go. And I'm going to connect to that pfSense box so I can navigate its file system and pull some files over and take a look at it. All right, so I'm just going to say 10.200.8.1. All right, put in my admin. Good stuff. Tell it port 22. All right, quick connect. And here we are. All right, so this is our pfSense box. I'm just going to go up a level, and it is located in USR. I believe it's share. Okay. Where is it after that? It's been a minute. Oh, let me go ahead and double check. It should actually be in here. I thought it was in here. Let me double check. Just a second, guys. All right, my bad. I had to look it up real quick. So it is local share. All right, FreeRadius. And there they are. Here's the dictionary files that came when I installed it. Okay, so if you don't see a Fortinet one in here, you would have to essentially copy and paste that that VSA file. All right, so you can essentially just copy this bad boy to a text file and name it. Let me get back there and name it dictionary.fortinet. And then it would know the attributes when you referenced them while creating a user. Okay, so but look at that, there's one already there. Okay, so pretty cool. In fact, we could just I don't know where to stick this, maybe documents. Okay, we can drag it over there and then we can open it up. No, there we go. Edit. And as you can see, it's not formatted, but it has the attribute strings in it. Let me try a different application here, guys. Sorry about that. Don't I have a Notepad++? I guess I do not. Yeah, I do. It's right there. Okay. I'm just going to open up that bad boy using Notepad++, so it's formatted a little bit better. Okay. So this is what's in there already. So we already have group name out of the box, interface name, access name. All right. So we should be good. We should be good there. So, but if we wanted to, we could add in those other attributes, but it's there. So awesome. All right, so we just confirmed it. Now, how do we actually make this work with our users? All right, so before we do that, let's go back and see what our goals were. All right. So here we go. We've already configured our simple radius server using FreeRadius and pfSense, and we've also taken a look a bit about the vendor-specific attributes. So now it's time to create a user, and I'm going to actually skip the user group on the radius server for right now and just set up the radius client on the pfSense, okay? And then also make sure that the FortiGate can talk to it, and then we'll go ahead and play with group memberships because it can be a little bit tricky, guys. So anyways, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go into our Windows PC again. And I was kind of dinking around a little bit earlier, but as you notice, we do not have a radius server set up on the FortiGate yet. All right. And then back here on our pfSense, we are going to go to our services and we are going to go to our FreeRadius. All right. And then if it wants to go to it, oh, I guess I'm already there. Okay. We're going to have to set up the client side. All right, so this is going to be saying, listen for the FortiGate as a radius client to this radius server. So let's go ahead and say add. All right, and our client IP address is going to be 10.200.1.1, which is going to be the interface of our WAN one here at headquarters. All right, and then I'll just say HQ FortiGate as its name. And then here is the client shared secret, and that's how Radius works. All right, it uses this pre-shared key. So I'm going to go ahead and type in something super secret there. All right, so, and then we're going to say, yeah, I think that's all. Okay. Yeah, all right, looks good to me. So let's hit save. Okay, and now that should be enough for the FortiGate to be able to reach out here to the Radius server and at least form a connection. So I'm going to go to my headquarters FortiGates. All right, I'm going to go to Radius server here and I'm going to say create new. And I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this Radius server. All right. And then down here, I'm going to type in my 10.200.8.1 and use the same pre-shared key. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit test connectivity and make sure that I can talk to each other. All right. Now, I was actually expecting this, okay? And the reason why is because we have an SD-WAN, and that SD-WAN abstracts our internet connections, right, guys? So how do we tell the FortiGates always to use a particular IP address if it is coming from a particular service? So there's a couple of things that we have to do here, okay? For one, we have to set the source IP to always use the same IP address when it's trying to use Radius. Two, we're going to have to write the SD-WAN rule to say, hey, always when you're going out to 10.200.8.1, use the 10.200.1.1 IP address. So we could use this using like central NAT if we, no, actually we wouldn't, because traffic is directly being established through the FortiGate. So, okay, kind of getting ahead of myself. I'm still going to commit this change, all right? So that will at least make the Radius server entry. Then I'm going to pop this guy open right here to get to the console window. Then I'm going to do a config user Radius, all right? If I do a show here, you can see the settings that I just did, all right? So I'm going to edit my Radius server. And remember, if we do a git command, we see all of the options. And one of them here is setting the source IP address, all right? And the reason why we need the source IP address is so it can match up. There it is. So it can match up when it talks to the Radius server to that pre-shared key, because you know a Radius server could have several clients, not just the FortiGate. So let's do a set source IP address to 10.200.1.1. All right. And then we'll commit the changes. And then let's go ahead and write that SD-WAN rule to make that happen. All right. So we're going to go to network, SD-WAN, SD-WAN rules. We're going to create a new one. And I'm just going to say to Radius, and our source IP address is going to be 10. Oh, I have to make an object. All right, that's fine. So let's do this. Create new address, and I'll just say WAN1 IP. Sure. And it'll be 10.200.1.1 with a /32. Just in case we need it for static routing, and we've been coloring things. And because that belongs to the FortiGate, I am going to make that orange. Why not? All right. So I don't think I've used orange yet. Oh, I have with the VPNs. I don't care. Okay. And then destination. Now this is important. This is going to be the Radius server itself. All right. So I'm going to hit new address. I'm going to call this Radius server. All right. And this is just making address objects. So Radius server. All right. And we'll make servers. What's a color we haven't used yet? I don't know. Magenta? No, that's too aggressive. We'll make it nice and gray or something. I don't know. All right, here we go. 10.200.8.1 with a /32. Okay. And in case we need it for static routing, there we go. All right. So this is saying if it's coming in from the WAN IP address going out to the Radius server, okay. Yeah, anyways, it'll always use this WAN IP address, all right? And then here we're going to say the preference interface is always going to be WAN 1, all right? So that way, you know, it goes back to the same connection each time, and you have to pick a service here. So I'm just going to say Google's DNS. Newer versions of the FortiOS, by the way, guys, 6.2 now has a manual connection, so you don't have to like awkwardly pick a measured SLA for a single WAN connection. which I thought was kind of nice, but it's all good. So we're going to hit OK. All right. And because it is a top down, I'm just going to, for best practices, stick it up at the top. All right. So there we go. All right. Now it should be able to get there and be able to authenticate. So let's try it out. Let's go over to our user and devices. Let's go over to our Radius servers. And before we had a I could not connect, and now we have a connection successful. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to get a user to authenticate through the Radius server. So we're going to go back to our pfSense box. All right, and then we're going to go over to our users and we're going to create a new user. So this one's going to be called, I don't know. I just got done teaching another Fortinet class. We use Shady Bob a lot as an example. So there you go, Bob. I'm going to give Bob a password. Okay. All right, looks good. And we're going to hit save. Okay. Awesomeness. So let's go back here. All right. And then let's go ahead and test user credentials. So we'll type in Bob, and then we'll type in his password. And as you can see, guys, he authenticated successfully to the Radius server. So how can we now start using this? And that's where things can get a little bit trickier, okay? So we have to make sure that those vendor-specific dictionary attributes, right, get read correctly when it queries Bob's Radius account here. So let's go ahead and make that happen. And now, once again, we're back full circle to our goal of creating user groups on the Radius server. So we already talked about the VSAs, all right? So let's now start using them. So, and guys, it gets a little bit tricky. So let's go back to our domain controller, our Radius server, all right? And we have Bob here. Okay, and we need to put in an attribute here. All right, now as you can see, there's 3 of them, and the place that you want to go to, and I hope this is right, I'm just gonna have to try it out. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the attribute for our group membership, okay, I already have it in a notepad here, is Fortinet-group-name. So I'm gonna put him in a test group here. All right, now when you're working with Radius and I'm talking about FreeRadius with pfSense specifically, and you're manipulating these boxes here, guys, if you screw up the syntax, it will stop the process, the actual service of Radius. So whenever you're manipulating anything in these 3 boxes, okay, make sure after you hit the save button, you go a step further, all right, and you go to your services, and you go to your, statuses. I lied. And go to services and make sure that the Radius daemon is still running. Okay, if you see an X there, it means that you screwed up the syntax. All right, so go back. You have it in the wrong box. It's formatted in the wrong way. You're screwing up the users. All right, so I learned that the hard way. Passing it along to you guys. All right, now back on the FortiGate, there's really no way for us to test our credentials through the GUI and get a membership associated with it. All right, in order to do that, we actually have to use the CLI. So before we start making groups and tying them to our Radius groups, let's just go ahead and verify that Bob's actually coming over as the test group. So we're going to pop out our CLI once again. Okay, and there is a special command that you do here, and it's going to be diagnose test auth server, all right, Radius, and then the name of our Radius server itself. Now that does not autocomplete, all right? So what did I even name my Radius server? Guys, this is why, okay, it was Radius server camel case. This is why I should really be practicing these before I record it. All right, so Radius server, all right? And then after that, it's going to be our server name, and then it's going to be how we are authenticating. All right, so here we're just doing PAP, which is the password protocol. And then after that, it's going to be Bob, and then look, Bob's password in the clear. All right. So once again, it's diagnose test auth server Radius, the name of the Radius server. Okay, and because I didn't define anything and this is why this is a simple or a basic radius example. I didn't do anything fancy, so I just used PAP, that's the general in the GUI, and then Bob and his password. And as you can see, it reached out to the radius, it successfully found it, and the group membership came back as test. All right, so once again, guys, you need to have that VSA defined in the attribute reply on the radius groups in order for it to come back with a group membership. If not, there's going to be no group memberships, and essentially you kill the whole role-based access control principle of authentication. All right, so anyways, but we now have test, so let's start using it. And as you can see, guys, that's all we need to do to get FreeRadius to start passing along group membership. All right, so, but now we're going to go to our users and groups. All right, and I'm just going to say radius admins or something like that. Here we go. Radius admins. And then here I'm going to say use our radius server, and our group specifically is going to be test. All right, and then we can add multiple ones here if we wanted to. Okay. So as long as Bob comes a part of the test group, it comes along, all right. And just to prove how this works, I'm actually going to make another user account that's not associated with the test group, just to prove that it's working. So let me go back to my FreeRadius, and instead of Bob, I'm just going to do a Joe. Here we go. Joe, super secret password. But for his group membership, I'm just going to have him come over as the group membership of users. Yeah, I'm not feeling very creative today, guys. So, okay, there we go. Just to make sure we can test if it's working or not. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to have to go to system. We're going to have to go to our administrators. There we go. We're going to say create new admin. All right. And then here we are going to say, and you know what? We could actually match all users. So we don't even need to worry about Bob. We can just say match all users in a remote server group. So we'll just say radius admins. Okay. And then we're going to make them super users, and the radius group is going to be radius admins. All right, we're going to hit OK. And that should be it. I mean, that should be all that we need for Bob to log in now using radius. And we could still use tiers support there. I did that in an earlier lab example. All right. But let's go ahead and log him out. That was me. And let's go ahead and accomplish our goal here and then wrap up this video. So I should be able to type in Bob, and he should instantly authenticate using that radius server and be an admin. All right, which he did. So there you guys go. Okay, and that's because it went out to the radius server, authenticated, and came back and said Bob is a real dude, and he was able to come in and be an admin because we made a wildcard. All right, let's log out Bob. Boom. And let's try Joe now. Now Joe is not associated with that group that we tied with our radius admins, so he should fail, which he did. All right, guys, I know that was an extremely simple radius demo, all right, but it was requested, and I thought to myself, you know what, that's cool, you know, we'll do it. So we did. So we set it up on our pfSense box. Okay, we also went ahead and configured the client as the FortiGate. We made sure using the SD-WAN that we were doing the right rules, so it always got back here. We also created members, and we also did our FortiGroups. All right, so hopefully someone found that helpful out there, and if not, sorry for wasting your time. And yeah, I'm gonna try to plow through a couple more videos before I leave out of town for work this weekend, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So